Hey everybody, Captain C.A. Richardson here, and I'm still at Cajun Fishing Adventures. I'm in my last week here in beautiful southeast Louisiana. And after reading a lot of the comments in previous videos, many of you seem to be curious what type of gear we're using to do, or I'm going to say, make these sight fishing videos happen. So I'm going to send all of you guys out back to the marsh in the professional here, and you go watch some of this rod bending action, and I'm going to take out two combos I think, well, you're going to find a use for if you're fishing in a marshy zone. Brandon up here, and we're going to be using the po' boy shrimp here from Z-Man. It's an easy shrimp. It's got a little bit of an active tail on it. The chartreuse really helps here for the fish to see it. We don't pop it, we don't hop it, we just swim it in front of the fish. So it's a real subtle bait. As you can see, lake and pond conditions are super slick today, and that's why we're using this. So got it on a 7-foot pitching rod here. This is the Talavera inshore. It's not a super high-end rod from Shimano, but it's the type of rod that is, well, for lack of a better description, it's one hell of a fighting lever. So what it lacks in nimbleness to cast, it more than makes up for catching the fish in that type of soupy mat grass. So that's why we're using the Talavera. So no expensive touch rods today. This is all about sticking them. So here we go. Real clean. Yeah, go ahead. Drop it. Not too much. Reel. Get it right. Intersect. Hop it one time. Hop, hop. You didn't see it. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. You like that? That's incredible. That is incredible. That's how you open up a day. Right there. And a big fish. He's going to run around a little bit. Man, are they not the best looking redfish? I tell everybody, I was like, you know, redfish in general, when you catch them in other states, whether you catch them on the Carolina coast or you catch them in Alabama or Florida itself, rarely do you find them the way they look here. This is like, these are like the California girls of redfish. They're gorgeous. I mean, gorgeous.
They're heavy.
They're heavy. They're strong. The ponds are cool with all this grass. So I'm gonna jump down, and that way when he's ready to come boat side, I will be ready too. That's a really big fish. It's a good way to start. Can you believe that's our first fish? First fish. We watched him come from probably 30, 40 yards away. Lay it down to the left, the rod. Reel down. Always stay close to the water with him. You got the most control. But he loves that shrimp. Keep your lever point up high. There you go. Man, what a fish. Let's land this. That is how you start off the day. 35 inches of copper. Gotta love it. All right, get a quick pick and then the release. I tried to release that fish the right way, but literally he handed it to me, and because of that Talavera inshore was so efficient at getting to the boat, it literally, well, I kind of looked like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 1976. I couldn't hold on to the ball. Sorry. I should have believed you. Brandon was going, there's a redfish down underneath the bow of the boat. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I know this is Louisiana, but quite honestly, Even in Louisiana, these fish do not like the pressure of a boat that close to them. Now the drum don't mind it. I was like, you're probably just throwing at a drum, so I didn't turn my camera on. Well, he throws the little easy shrimps down there to him, and I tell him never to pop it, just kind of pull it along so it looks like a shrimp. And lo and behold, Brandon was right. Keep him off that tab. Pull him out to the left a little. Good job, good job, good job. I'm going to come down and help you. We also have, there you go. That rod tip is close to the water. You always have the most control. Reel down again. Now we have the drag set fairly tight on this Ultegra, and we also have, here we go. You don't got to worry about that. Don't, if you change the lift position on that rod, you might break the tip. So yeah, you can just hold it like you normally do. He's just green. But we don't want that. You see all this grass in the water, we don't want him running into that, because it's a challenge. That's why you've noticed since I've been out here in Louisiana this summer, all the videos are with fish that don't have leader. I'm not using leader, just so that we can cut through that grass. Let me turn you around, buddy. Gotcha. Oh. And there's the po' boy shrimp right there. It's one, on days like today, you know, we talked about it earlier, you got this type of bluebird sky that Brandon's dealing with, and you've got this slick of conditions, just like so. Baits like this that don't paddle or anything, they just swim nice and quiet. Those are the baits that catch fish. All right, let's get this out of his face. Fell right out of his mouth. Get a quick photograph. I promise, guys, I will hold on to it this time. So we're gonna let Brandon put it in the water. The other good thing in the summertime about fighting these fish on stout tackle is the fact that, well, we can release them in good speed, because the water temperatures here in the summertime after 1 o'clock in the afternoon are over 90 degrees, and it's never a good idea to fish that late. All right, let's go get another one for you. And creates a great light break there. Now he's kind of head into the cane. I'll get up there. Right now we're stalking this big black drum, and it's one of those types of fish that, you know, a lot of you might not think black drum are special, but they're kind of fun to target when we're out here in the marsh, especially on a day like today where you got such great sight fishing conditions. So we're going to see if we can talk them into eating this shrimp. Yeah, you can throw it any time, and make sure this fish is actually harder to catch than the redfish, because there's no aggressiveness in them at all. These guys are just like big friendly elephants. So you got to kind of throw it right, drop it right on his face. Yep, you got it perfect. You got it perfect. Once you get up there, hop it a little bit so he sees it. You might be behind him. Pick it up again. Yeah, that's why I got that chartreuse tail. The chartreuse tail is not only for their benevolence, but for you to know where the head is. Pull it right to him quick. Quick, drop it. Hop it once. You got it. Man, you did that perfectly. Now, they don't have the nitrous oxide gear that the redfish have. Now, this is like low four-wheel drive for the next 7 to 8 minutes. Honestly, I mean, that's what it is. They'll pull the boat around for 7 or 8 minutes. They're strong, they're big, they're strong, they eat nothing. They're almost like a shop vac with fins in here, eating shrimp and eating these big, like size 8 crabs in here. And they just are, they're marsh monsters. Big, strong tail, and just the sheer mass of them make them a real challenge on light tackle. That's what, now you know why I use those heavier gauge wire hooks, the heavy braid, the stouter rod, because if not, you wouldn't be able to do anything with any of these fish. I mean, yeah, I know. I mean, he's got a broom for a tail. So that's kind of the deal here. I'm gonna come down because he's not gonna pull you. They got like 2 runs in them, and then the rest of the time, it's everything you can do just to control their head. Power pole is down. We're back.
I think I'm wrapped around his gill.
Yeah, that's why the braid again. No leader material, just straight braid, reel back to the right. This fish is literally going to be like 40 pounds. They're massive. They're just they're massive fish. I mean, you're just dealing with a brute. Reel down to the water, because once you get so high with these, you can't do nothing. Can't do anything with them. All right, we're gonna take care of them now. Getting water all over me. We did get, you know, the big nasty in the boat, and Brandon's finally got, you know, he can say he's been dump trucked. So I don't know, maybe we'll try to take a quick photograph with him and get him back in the marsh.
Monster.
A shrimp, and that's the last thing you see. Crazy, huh? It really is crazy. That fish weighs well over 30, well over 30, and he'll go back in the water now. And you can just wag his tail. You don't even have to pump him. Water's still cool enough, still early morning. Just wag it, you know, gently, and you'll start feeling them pull out of your hand. The whole idea behind the heavier gear is just to make sure that they don't get too tired. And he'll just, once you feel his tail get kind of strong, there he goes. Yeah, that's all there is to it. I don't see him now. Twitch it. Sees it. Got it. Woo! Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? I mean, freaking crazy. I mean, it blows my mind when they look up. They can see you, and he still did it. He still did it. I mean, he was looking straight into the sun when he came up to get that shrimp. But they recognized that motion, that slow swim, and that profile so fast. It's like, hey, that's easy. Keep the rod low to the water, maybe go around the front. No, he's going to come out this side, the left side, I guess. I'll try to back this up a little bit. Yeah, see, that's that grass getting on that braid. That's exactly why no leader. I mean, and this is probably a 27-inch fish. You know, that's a fish that is right at the top of the slot. I'm going to come on down and help you out since you got them worn out. But again, you know, Stout equipment, straight braid through a lure that they can't say no to. Just got to be careful with that braid because it's sharp. I'll open the bail. Got plenty of line now.
Beauty.
What a fish! What a fish! Ah. Gotta love that shrimp in his mouth. I'm gonna get that out of his mouth real quick, and we'll get the nice clean release. But
sweet.
You got to admit, it's nice to have an aqua traction measuring board right here so you could document every catch you get. We're going to tell you how you can get one of those soon, aren't we?
Nothing like it. Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, hey, they go. That's why we fight them that way.
Great fish.
That is a scenario that happens all the time. You get a big fish like that. Actually, we've gotten several big fish, including a black drum, and we've been laying it on the deck. And that creates a big slip problem for most anglers.
On gel coat, yeah.
Yeah, but why not for aqua traction?
You know, it's the non-skid using. I just stepped up on the deck after that big redfish was on there, and it's slick. You can feel the slickness, but you don't slide around.
Yeah.
And I'm barefooted.
Yeah, it's amazing to me. And I even noticed when I get my fly guys on here that the fly line actually grips to the boat better and doesn't get blown overboard like when you have it on typical fiberglass non-skid,
right,
where if the wind's blowing a little bit, that line's overboard. With aqua traction, you know, that's something people don't talk about, but it doesn't do that.
No, and you do this every day. I tell people it makes the boat quieter. It definitely makes my boat quieter.
Yeah, quieter, safer. Well, it looks freaking cool.
That's right. That's right.
The action has been hot and it has been heavy. We have caught thus far, with a week to go, 24 fish that are 40 inches or longer. That's right. And most of the water we're fishing is a mere 18 inches deep. In a few cases, it might be 3 feet in some of the deeper little bayous, but it's been fairly shallow. So what type of gear would someone choose to be able to control a fish that's near 40 inches or over 40 inches with so much emergent grass to deal with? Well, in the past, I've made the mistake of bringing some of that same Florida Flats gear out here. We're talking medium action rods with 3000s or 2500s on it, and maybe beefing up the braid like Power Pro Super Slick V2, like in the 15-pound class. I have found that has not worked in previous summers. We lose too many fish. So what I've decided to do this year is to bring out medium heavy rods, shorter rods with crisper actions, 4,000 reels that pick up line quicker, and then beef it up to 20 and 25 pound braid with no leader, and that has worked fantastic. So the first setup, and the setup that I've really enjoyed, is the 4000 Shimano Ultegra. This is an amazing reel, very fluid, very smooth, got a great drag, gives you that soft casting ability with these pendulum casts that we've been making out here in the marsh. And I've paired that with the Talavera Inshore. This is a 7-foot medium heavy, and I will give you the specs right here. You can read them, and it has worked very well for us all summer long. This is the one that I basically, if we're sight fishing and close encounter fishing with the fish so close to the boat, this is the rod that I prefer the most, because the 7-foot rod gives me casting accuracy, and at the risk of doing something crazy with my tip here, it only bends in that first 20% of the rod, so it's a very crisp action, and I have tons of control. Now the second rod, let me pick that up, because this is the one we're using for a little bit longer casting distance. I've been using it a lot in some of the longer canals when we see fish that are a little bit more scattered. So let me grab this one. This rod now is for something to throw a little bit lighter, like these very light unweighted jigs, and get a little bit better casting accuracy when I'm fishing some longer stretches. It is the Shimano Terramar series. Now this is a 7'6" medium heavy, but for my casters that are a little older or not as strong and they don't have that accuracy with that crisper action, this has worked out well. Now I paired it up with a 4000 Noski. I know you're saying, well, why would you pair a $180 rod with a $99 reel? Well, the reality is the way we triculate the technologies through Shimano down through the reels. This reel is actually probably 4 or 5 years ago. It's probably the Stratic reel. It's probably that quality. And a lot of my clients do not even know that they're not using a Stratic. It looks like a Stratic. It performs like a Stratic. And it's a little heavier than what the Ultegra is and whatnot, but it's got a really slippery drag, and it has done an amazing job on some of the biggest fish in the marsh. So these two setups are what we've been using the most. And if I'm throwing anything light or unweighted and we're trying to work a little bit different zone, this has turned out really well. Now, for most of you that come out here, you're probably doing the pop and cork deal. This is a good rod for the pop and cork deal. For me, we haven't done that at all this season, not one time. All of our fishing has been sight fishing in the ponds, and it has been excellent. That's probably due to the fact that we've had a very low river, which has concentrated fish tighter to the river itself and in these shallow ponds. But if you ever think that you might want to make a trip out here, you need come visit Cajun Fishing Adventures. They've got some really qualified native guides here, and I can't speak to them enough. They do a fantastic job. We've moved dozens and dozens and dozens of clients through this lodge this summer, and I watch their guys in action, and they have a lot of success here. All right, if you enjoy what you're seeing here on FlatsClass YouTube and you're learning stuff and you're able to take it to the water, employ it, and catch more fish, well then subscribe. I need you in my virtual classroom each and every day, because we put a video out every day here at FlatsClass YouTube. So for me to take you to more cool places like Louisiana, Texas, South Carolina, and of course, my home state, Florida, I need you to get on board. All right, I'm headed back over here, get a little bit more tackle together, and we're going to do another tip next.